We are back again with the one and only Ethan. All right, man. So today we bring to you guys the Ivankov deck profile for OPO2. There's been making some waves around, and the man's taken out a few local tournaments with it. He's taken out 2. And we're going to dive straight into it. All right? Let's rock and roll.
Oh, right.
Boom.
So, everyone knows what Ivankov does by now.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, do you want to explain just quickly what it...
End of your turn, if you have 0 cards in hand, draw 2. Very simple, passive kind of ability.
Cool.
Alrighty. So, starting off the bat with a bit of search going into the deck. We have our 4 buggies, which are now staple in Ivankov, obviously, and New Karmaland. So Buggy, looking at the top 5 of your deck, revealing 1 blue and pearl down other than Buggy, which goes into literally 90% of your deck, which we'll get into later. A New Karmaland, a little bit of cycle going through your deck, resting, drawing, trashing up to 3. Drawing, trashing, and then trashing up to 3. Going on to a few of our low-cost blockers. We have Trafalgar Law, Boa Hancock, and Doflamingo. The reason I've only got Trafalgar Law at 2 is because it has no counter and otherwise no other way to get it out of hand. And with Ivankov, especially, you need to get cards out of hand. And if you don't have the New Karmaland, which lets you cycle through cards and trash one, then you're going to be very stuck for cycling through to your ability. For Boa Hancocks, right, so not a lot of people run this, and for good reason.
She's just good off the trigger, right?
She is literally here for one reason and one reason only, is for playing off the trigger, because it messes up quite a lot of planning late into the game, especially if you're taking life. As well as having 1k counter, meaning she can be cycled through. 3 drop, so she is quite a good early blocker if you don't have Doflamingo. Moving on to Doflamingo, normal vanilla card, normal OPO1 card, sorry, on play, looking at the top 5 and rearranging. Very good to go into your Luffy's, your Ivankovs, moving into your New Karmalands to get your game going.
Sweet.
Alright, let's move on to a few of the 2k counters. Now, this deck has quite a lot of 2k counters, because, again, you're wanting to dump your hand quite often. So we are running 3 sets of 4 and a set of 2. Now this is in the deck purely to have more 2k counter. The only played card is Alvida with the bounce and trashing of card. All these other ones are purely in the deck for 2k counter. Obviously Bond Clay in set 2 can be played off of the Ivankov, but it's very rare that you would do that. But yeah, everything here is just here for 2k counter, except the Alvida. Moving on to our blockers, we have 4 Mr. 3s, 4 Inazumas. Now these are both staple cards, obviously, even in some other decks now, blue decks. Mr. 3, purely because he can attack, restand by trashing a card, again, going into your cycling of cards, getting card dumps. And Inazuma, with the ability of, if you have 1 or less card in hand, this becomes a 7k on your turn and your opponent's turn. So, normal 1k counter blockers. Okay, moving into the whole engine of the deck, we've got our Luffy's and our Ivankovs.
And this man's got all the alt arts.
And then we're moving into 2 Meatballs. So, obviously you're going to be wanting to search for either one of these through the deck. The reason we're running 4 of each is because you want to see them. And it's the whole reason on why this deck is built, is to get around to seeing these 2 cards. Dropping it on 7 preferably. Going second is pretty rough on this deck, but obviously you can work around it. And then after you've dropped your 7 and your 6, we're moving to our 9, again for board clearance. moving through all of that. Bottom decking blockers and stuff, it's quite easy to finish up and end the game after you've hit your 7 and then your 9. And then once you've hit your 10 gone, you're just doing the whole cycle through again.
Beautiful.
And then moving on to the only 2 events in the deck, 2 breakfasts. The reason it's at 2 and not 4 and not 6 is again, not 6, 2 and 4s. And the reason that is because, again, it doesn't have counter because it's an event, 2 cost, active main. It's good, but you need to be getting cards out of your hand quicker than you actually get them with this leader. So having it at 2 gets away the pesky Borsalinos and your Marcos, just so you can go for lethal a little bit easier, especially when they think they're safe behind blockers.
Cool.
But other than that,
Beautiful, man.
that is the deck. Definitely the changes that I have made in the deck is I used to run no Brick Fists and no new Karma lands. I have quite a few iterations of the deck, but this one right now is the one I've settled on for a few weeks now, and it's running really good. So definitely, if you haven't tried Ivankov, I'd definitely give it a go because it is quite a fun deck and quite easy to get into. So
awesome.
Yeah, there it is.
Awesome, guys. There you go. So yeah, thanks very much again, Ethan, bro. Awesome profile like always. The deck's been doing him wonders. He's such a great blue player here in Perth as well. He's probably one of the best blue players we got. So yeah, we just want to have a big shout out to everyone there, all our viewers for tuning in, and any shout outs as well, man, for you.
Big shout out to Beyond.
Beyond Odyssey as always, man. They're our guys. They're our guys.
Always. I think that'll do it.
Cool.
I think that'll do it.
No worries. Well, as always, guys, remember to like and subscribe, hit that bell to stay notified, and we will see you on the next one.